township property.
So there is,
The issue
there is,
was, if it's required and if it's in another city, will that apply to this building? And the answer is probably not, because if they remove it in Twinsburg, or if it's not working, we cannot cite somebody in Twinsburg to repair an item that's in another city that serves a building in our city. So we requested them to have their own. But I think he's disputing that, whether it's required or not.
But that's not relevant, I guess, to this.
it really isn't.
No.
We are
There's
going
nothing
to
to do with
relocate a hydrant that is
Okay.
potentially in our
That's fine.
driveway to the west to maintain that.
I just want to make sure it didn't impact the delivery of government services, which is what I care about.
So your hardship's basically gonna be on this roadway going back on your easement, once you get it figured out with the planning commission. And you got a preliminary proposal for your building already?
Yes, sir.
Anything else, guys? Chair's open for motion. You have anything else to add?
I make a motion, we accept as presented.
Case 710.
Case 710.
Second?
Chris, would you do a roll call, please?
Mr. Scott?
No, I do not approve.
Mr. Pilato?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrara?
Yes.
Mr. Alfred? Yes.
Case 710 has been approved and passed as is. We're gonna go to case 711. And Chris, is there any correspondence on case 711?
No, there was not.
Any adjacent property owners, was there any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Okay, will the city inspector now please cite the city's position?
Board of Zoning and Building Code Appeals will hear a request for an area variance at 1325 East Highland Road. The variance request is to section 1169.04 F4. Outdoor storage areas shall have the same side and rear yard setbacks as the building pursuant to subsection F3 hereof. The applicant is requesting a variance of 5 feet to have a 10-foot side yard setback at the west property line.
Board members, any questions to the city?
No.
Would you please present your?
So I think, I mean, it's, like I said, we kind of looked at these in tandem, right? And just based on that width, and given the way that this drive came in, we asked for a little more on the east side, needed a little less on the west side to do what we want to accomplish. So I think the same things that, the same things we presented for the previous case stand here as well.
Once again, you told Mr. Scott, if you went wider than deeper, it's not gonna work. Nino, you have anything on this?
Now, the only question that I have, I know that there's a buffer there, there's quite a few trees, but I'm just worried about trees are there, they lose the leaves, this could be visible. I just wonder if it should be screened from view. That's the question I have.
And when you say screen, are you talking all the way around it?
So that comment did come up from planning commission, so we did add some trees and shrubberies here to block that view from the street. I think we could do some things down the side if that's something that's desired. I don't see a problem with that.
Should be in your guys' wheelhouse.
He knows the materials.
Would that satisfy the city more or less if they did the landscaping like that?
Yeah, and again, the landscaping probably needs to be approved by the architect, and the planning commission, but yes.
Okay.
assuming you want evergreen trees as opposed to deciduous, because you made the comment about the
Yeah, I
leaves?
can't speak for her, but I think that's probably what she
Okay.
was looking for.
That's fine.
Any other questions? Only thing I would suggest is if we make the motion, do it with landscaping approval of the planning commission and architect, right?
I think we'd be very happy about that.
I make a motion that we approve case 711 as written with the condition that there's shrubbery or
Landscaping with the planning commission.
added per approval of the planning commission.
I second the motion.
Chris, we do a roll call, please?
Mr. Scott?
No, we do not approve.
Mr. Colado?
Yes.
Mr. Farrar?
Yes.
Mr. Alfred?
Yes.
Case 711 has passed. Thank you, gentlemen.
Can I ask you a question? Would you guys prefer trees, or would you prefer a fence like the last individuals? Am I allowed to ask that question?
You can ask anything you want.
Yeah, I
If
think
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna,
answer, you know, or you may have to go to planning commission.
No, I just, whatever your preference is.
yeah, I think we're gonna discuss this in the planning commission.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
No
That's
problem.
their thing.
That's
okay?
their wheelhouse.
Very good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Live screening blocks sound a lot better than a hard screening.
Okay.
So you get a lot more out of live screening,
Okay,
and it's a green alternative.
okay. I'm way okay with that. I would prefer it.
Like I
Thank you.
said, planning commission will handle that with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, we're going to go with old business tonight. It's not on the agenda, but it is now. And old business is gonna be case 705. Come on, gentlemen, come on up. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you.
Usually we do old business at the end, so. And
All right. So I was able, I know you guys asked if I had a copy. It's the glory of numbers, right? So we were able to just run out and reprint kind of our, yeah, just, so basically we kind of went through and looked at, in our letter, you'll see that we kind of just outlined, and I actually, business cards. We just kind of outlined, basically our position, going through Duncan factors and things like that. You know, if you decide to reconsider, I don't know if this is you reconsidering, or I don't know the exact process, but first of all, thank you. Kind of just highlighting through those Duncan factors, you know, losing brand awareness by not having our signature diamond logo. If we just step back and take the emotion out of it, right, and just go through those questions, we do lose brand awareness through that signature diamond logo at the top of the monument sign. I know you were not here the last time.
No, it was not, so I appreciate all this. Thank you.
Yes.
This is projected from
this is what they're asking to do, okay?
On top of it, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
on the, it's on the north side of the building, all right?
Facing.
Okay. Planning commission, and I'll give you a little rundown what happened. Planning commission already gave them approval before they came to us to put Don Bosch Jewelers.
Is this visible from the residential community adjacent to it?
Yes.
That's why we put there, he can't see it, it's 40 feet up in the air, it's 15 feet above his house.
Yes,
But he was also here that evening.
He was here that evening, but he also, at the end, to get on a record, mentioned that
Right.
we'd handled everything that he'd ever asked.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, but in the
Right.
same breath, at some point, the man must have known when he built his home that that property's there, and at some point it needs to be developed. And for us to have the best optimum of visibility for everyone heading both directions on Route 8 and the preparation for them to get in the left-hand turning lane before they get to Route 8, we need to have everything up there, is what we're asking for. And the way the city figures the square footage, it's beyond what we have because of the peaks. We only need something the size of your circle out there. But
And
the way
as I
he had it
said-
calculated, it's the length of everything by the height and
It's a challenging property. Have you owned this property for a while, or did you buy this property? And I'm just curious, did you buy the property and then build this on the property?
So we bought the property, that would be 2019, I believe.
3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
2019, 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Well after the gentleman had bought his home.
Yeah.
The big
So
thing is.
he knew that it was just a vacant lot, knowing what was gonna be built on it.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
That evening when we came in, planning commission already gave them approval to do that, okay? And it was 31 square feet, if I'm not mistaken, if
Correct,
that was
yep.
the number,
Yep.
okay? That they wanted a variance for, okay? And when we talked about it, we felt, okay, at that evening, okay, that since planning commission gave them approval already on Don Bosch Jewelers, without this, that we just let it go at that, okay? In the procedure for tonight, I'll let Matt explain it to you real quick on how we're gonna do it. You weren't here that evening, okay?
Sorry.
So you're not gonna be able to vote on it, am I correct?
Not on the motion to reconsider, but
Right.
if the motion, we'll get to it. You might be able to vote, but not maybe.
Right. So, but go ahead, let them finish what you wanted to say, and then we'll go from there. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
you knew
appreciate
what the
it.
procedure was, okay?
Thank you. So basically, our customers lose the ability to quickly and easily locate our building by spotting our familiar logo when traveling at a high rate of speed and coming up to an intersection at Route 8 South and Route 82. In its absence, it diminishes our ability to yield a reasonable return on our new customers from traffic heading southbound. The city image, our image, is negatively impacted by having inconsistent signage affecting the uniform and pristine look of Western Reserve style. Through this letter, I kind of outline these a little bit more in detail. If you'd like me, I'm happy to read it all, but.
It's entirely up to you. We're here.
Yeah. So basically, in our request, we are asking for something, we're not asking for something unique, we're simply asking for something of the same to allow us to better overcome some of our hardships outlined above that we talked about. We also talked about that night as far as the ability to yield new customers, safety, and if I go back to our Duncan factors, I believe we can answer honestly to all the Duncan factors that basically we're not asking for anything substantial. I think our variance is rather unsubstantial, I guess is the best way to say it. At 31 square feet is also the minimum, right? I'm not asking for anything above and beyond, I think, what is necessary. That this variance would overcome that hardship, right? So this would solve the issue, and you know that the intent of the zoning resolution would not do any disjustice to the zoning code, and has little or no effect on the adjoining properties. So.
The only thing I mean, I remember that evening and when we were going through everything, the only thing was is it was brought up by one of yous, okay, that it wasn't a practical difficulty or hardship. It was something that you wanted at that time, okay? And I can remember that, but, you know, I'm glad you came in and for reconsideration if you want and go from there. But, you know, it is 31 square foot, but I don't know if there's any other comments from the board.
I would say I agree with everything that you say, and obviously I voted yes last time, but with one exception, just for the record, I don't think the absence of the sign diminishes the ability to yield a reasonable return on the property, right? Like, you'll still have the business, you'll still, like, it's not gonna, I agree, I'm in marketing, like, I agree with everything else, I'm just pointing out that one Duncan factor, I don't think it necessarily means that, but it doesn't have to mean all. It just has to be enough of them.
Just out of curiosity, is this sign illuminated?
Correct, yes.
Yes.
Do you have any type of submittals or engineer drawings of the sign, or is it just what you have here?
So I have these drawings here showing, this is what we currently have on the other sides, right, and what we're asking for. This shows what was approved per Planning Commission. And then, yes, I do have more. Sorry, this is printed double-sided.
This is their, if you go by, this is their tower, okay? This is on two sides of the tower, actually,
Two sides.
two sides of the tower already, okay? This is the
Just to show the
south
exact
side,
of the logo.
is what planning commission approved that evening,
He has no words.
okay? This is on both the west side, the north side and the west side already.
Gotcha.
And it's all illuminated. This would be also illuminated, the planning commission gave you, okay? Without, the only thing missing is the diamond, is what they're talking about. And that's what they're.
The signature diamond.
And the diamond.
I thought it was the jingle. You know, I didn't know it was a signature diamond. I thought it was a signature jingle.
Yeah. Two sides.
That's correct.
Yes,
The
the
diamond
diamond
is
is
on
on
the
The
other side.
third side, it would just, as it stands now, it would just be
It would look just like this.
without the diamond.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's over the doorway.
Right.
And it's out on
I'm sorry. And then you asked for that
the base sign. on
engineer
the
drawing, so that
street.
is, that is them.
Okay. Anything else from you before we go through some procedural stuff here? And we'll explain it.
No, we just appreciate your reconsideration.
Okay. I'm gonna let Matt do it, just because he voted yes. So go ahead.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I don't know that this board can take any action at this point because, the neighbors have not been notified. They know right now that that was denied, and I think that we can take an informal vote here, see if you guys want to reconsider, and if you do, then we probably have to put them back on the agenda. We have to notify the neighbors, and they.
So it wasn't publicly,
It was,
the
it
sunshine law.
was
This
not.
is
This is just, something informal to find out whether, this body is willing to reconsider that.
well, we'll have to wait until it gets put in the
We can
circulation.
have an
We can-
informal vote at this point.
Right.
We can formally vote to put it back on the
Correct.
agenda next time.
Correct.
Right.
And if not, then it doesn't go on the agenda.
That is correct.
It's formal, but we don't decide on the case here.
Right.
Yeah.
But we decide if we're going to decide.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's make a motion, to vote on,
No.
put it back on agenda
So
for
what we
reconsideration.
do is, somebody, I can do it, would ask anybody that was in the prevailing side in the last meeting on the board, which is just you two, right? Kent's not here.
Kent's not here.
And you weren't at the meeting, and I said yes. So, anybody that was in the prevailing side, I would ask if there are any motions to reconsider case 705.
That's between you and me. I'll say, yes, I'll reconsider the case 705. Okay, but we do need both of us to reconsider 705.
Just a second.
It's a second.
Oh, you do need a second.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So I'll just let you know. So I say yes, we can reconsider it, put it on the next meeting, agenda for the next meeting.
And your shoulders.
Right. So it's up to you if you want to
I'm
reconsider.
gonna go, no.
Okay. So case 70,
So the motion to reconsider case 705
right,
has failed.
been denied. So that means that we can't put it back on.
We can come back in a year, right?
Yep.
A year from September, so not even a year yet.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Singing that in my head for weeks.
Sorry, guys.
There's no apologies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ability.
drive by that 100 times.
Okay, we're done with everything we have here. Just a couple quick things real quick and we'll get out of here, I know. Councilman Vinnie Ventura is talking and proposed something, I think is, set something up for corner lots to the council.
Yes.
Okay?
He came to the planning commission, he presented the planning commission kind of agreed. There's this section of that I'm totally against, that he's proposing a total enclosing privacy fence around the property, and I don't see one city that has that. I mean, if you wanna put some privacy fence because you have a swimming pool that you wanna screen, or if you have a neighbors that's bothering you, you could do that. Most communities allow up to 33% of the rear yard to be enclosed, but to do the whole yard with a totally enclosed privacy fence, I think it's a mistake, but it's my opinion.
Well, he talked to me a little bit about it and I told him that get everybody together and
Yeah.
go from there, but go ahead, I'm sorry, Rob.
So, could you explain that again?
Councilman Vinnie Ventura, okay, wants to come up with something about corner lots, okay? In the last 3 or 4 years,
A lot of
we've
corner
had
lots
a
discussion.
ton of corner.
Yeah.
You haven't really even seen any of them
Oh, I'm sure.
compared to
Yeah.
what we've had in the last 3 or 4 years. But anyhow, he wants to come up with something, with some new legislation, all right? So he presented it to he presented it to the planning commission. All right, he hasn't presented it to us yet. And he's also gonna present it to, the council, all right? Because they're the ones that can approve and disapprove. But Nino had a few comments with him, and I had a few comments. So we'll see what happens when he gets done with the planning commission, that's all.
So what is the gist of it though?
There
For
was,
the corner lots, like, it's fully, like, what is it, fully?
he has like, what, about 15 different things, you know what I mean?
Chris just brought some, I think maybe we should adjourn before, I don't know.
Yeah.
if we should
Okay.
talk about this.
No, that's fine, we can. All right, let's do that then. Should we roll call? Okay, how about, the end of the motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting on the 20th day of November.
I second the motion. End of meeting. Turn the off, please. And would you make sure it's off in there? That's all.